Start here in 20 seconds. Is everyone up? Outstanding. And welcome to our hub here. We have Mila, we have Giovanni, we have Luke, Zach Schachter, Daniel Belton, Skylar. Oh, hello. Oh, what's that? We have, what's that noise? Rob Rodriguez and Neftali. It was like bongos. Beautiful. Oh, I guess it kind of, we'll go back to the boom here. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah, let's get it rolling. Let's go in order here. Let's start with Miss Amanda Swanson. We'll go Amanda. We'll go Grant. And then we'll go to La Isla real quick. What's hot? What do you appreciate?
Hot is very plush. I'm super excited for it. And what I appreciate is my musical performance today.
Yeah. Everyone wish Amanda luck. She is actually going to be performing. This is an audition for what exactly?
No, it's not an audition. It's just like a little open mic thing. And it's like a slotted time where I have like a 15 to 20 minute window to like do my thing. So really excited. There's like no karaoke, no words, just me on the stage.
Nice. So it's a chance to put yourself out there and get noticed. Nice job. Good luck to you. We'll go to Grant Strayer and then we'll go over to La Isla.
Cool. What's hot is that my fraternity is officially off probation. What I appreciate is you coming to visit us.
No longer on lockdown.
No.
That's exciting. Good. Let's go to La Isla. We'll go Chewy, Patricia, and then Christina.
All right, so what's hot? I'm here in school right now, and I'm grateful that I'm here with Basic Public Influence.
All right, you're looking very clean, fresh and clean.
That was like a Snapchat. Like, what's up, guys? Taking over my office.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
What's hot is that I cut my hair.
Oh, very nice, very nice. We'll go to Christina.
What's hot? Honestly, everything right now, life is good, and what I appreciate is my circle of influence.
Okay.
And this coffee.
And the coffee. Café con leche. There it is.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go to the David, and then we'll go back over to Double D David.
So what's hot is I had a call with Max Planet Financial, which was pretty educational, and I appreciate it.
Very nice. What was the last thing? You appreciate what? Oh, the speaker's not working, so that's probably why it's happening. Let me take it off. One more time. What do you appreciate?
I appreciate this coffee and Christina for bringing it to me.
There you go. Delgado. Can't hear you. Try harder.
What's hot is we keep adding to our team. Just launched a couple of pretty sharp hits, and looking forward to being able to really develop our team. And what I appreciate is this group here.
There you go. We'll go Erica, then Maggie.
What's hot is I was not to see my family for the weekend, and I appreciate that.
Okay. Maggie.
What's hot is that I have my morning routine on point, and I appreciate you for being here with you.
There we go. I appreciate being here with you as well. Let's go over to Tallahassee. Sleepy eyes. Eric. You're like your face is blowing up. So when you do that, it's like this.
I was wide awake.
No, you look awake. You just have a sleepy eye. One eye, not two. All right, we'll go Eric. We'll go Eric, Kirsten, Dalila, then Eddie. Say it again. The volume is really rough right now. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why.
I appreciate it, Mr. Eduardo de las Cuevas.
There you go, Eduardo de las Cuevas. Looking very fresh with the tab collar buttons. Nice, I like it. Small, very good detail. We'll go Kirsten, then we'll go to Dalila, and then end up with Eddie de la Cueva.
What's hot is I have UV tests next 2 hours, so I'm gonna have to be going first.
It's Saturday.
Monday. Yeah, mine. And then what I appreciate is my favorite chocolate. And yeah.
Did you just buy Felicia someone? Was that Eddie? Bye, Felicia. Hey, Grant. Hey, Grant, bless you. Whoever was sneezing, that was awesome. Let's go to we'll go to Delilah, and then we'll go to Eddie. And we'll come over here. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What's hot is this prep. It's always fun to see like what times they come. I appreciate.
Somebody got to turn the reverb down.
You gotta one of the computers in Tally has to mute their mic.
Yeah, I'm muted.
No, I hear you right now.
Can we only get one until last year?
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, there we go.
Let's hear your voice.
Right to go again.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's hot is this prep because it's always interesting what times they come, and I appreciate my mom.
Wonderful. Good. De La Cueva, you're up.
You guys hear me? Okay, cool. I can't hear any of you, but what's hot? I got my third little now. My first one in AK stuff last night, which was cool. And then what I appreciate, is this being here and another prep with everyone. I'm excited.
All right.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Eddie. Let's go here quickly.
That just sounded so sarcastic, Eddie.
Naftali, you're up.
Great time.
Oh, let me mute everyone because it's causing some reverb here. We'll mute.
I just love the world because everyone's so nice and friendly.
What's hot is I just moved to.
Yeah, you're muted.
Okay, so what's hot is I just moved to a new place. It's pretty cool, and I like it there. And what do I appreciate is being able to be here today.
All right.
What's hot? Looking forward to Olin, and I appreciate Andrew.
There we go.
What's hot is being here and being in front of you live for prep.
Here I am.
What I appreciate is my health.
What do you appreciate?
My health.
Oh, me too.
What's hot is I'm running day 2 training this coming week, and then what I appreciate is my circle of influence.
All right. We'll go. Zach.
What's hot? I'm ahead on school right now, and I appreciate myself for allowing me to do that.
I appreciate myself for persevering. Luke.
What's hot is I got leftovers from Jeff yesterday. I still don't know what they are, but I'm going to eat them in a couple hours. What I appreciate is we have a bye week, and you can't lose on a bye week.
That's true. That means you don't have a
Also
game, so you
can't
can't
win.
lose. Yeah.
Can't lose. Can't win.
We'll go to Giovanni. Wrap up with Miss Mila.
What's hot is I was in Nashville this past weekend. Had a great time, and what I appreciate is my circle of influence.
Wonderful. Mila.
What's hot is Heffa's in town, and what I appreciate is my family.
Wonderful. Wonderful. If you guys could take 10 seconds to kind of get reacclimated here, I want to share a thought with you. And speaking of being in Gainesville, I want to share with you my very first experience this morning in Gainesville. And you guys probably know where I'm going with this. When I got to tell the story. I called Heidi, and her quote was, "Of course, of course." So I think you guys can see. Let me just make sure you guys can see here. There we go. Cool. So I don't know this guy's name, but what I do know is that this morning at the AC Marriott, the bougiest hotel in Gainesville, if that can that happen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's I would call it the nicest hotel in Gainesville. And you know, when I've toured to college towns, I've done let me be really frugal. Let me just get, like in Tallahassee, I went to like the cheapest one, cheaper, just to save some money. And, you know, never again, because you get what you pay for. And there's certain things I just won't go down on, and how I sleep and where I'm at. So I picked this one, thanks to young Mule over here. She said, pick this hotel. So I get up. And so what an interesting line of events. First of all, number one, when I get there, say, Mr. Kimball, we'd like to upgrade you. Thanks for being a loyal member. I'm like, great, thank you. So I get upgraded to the second floor. I don't even know what that meant. So where the hell was I? In the basement? So I don't know. I walked in and said, thank you. She goes, yeah, thank you for being a loyal member. So I was on room 213. So I haven't asked her yet, but I want to know if I didn't get upgraded, where would I be? Like in the lobby? I don't know. Number two. So I got a chance to do some planning with Giovanni for summer of 19. And I had Luke join. And it's interesting. Luke even made a new WhatsApp. It's called Passing the Baton, or Passing the Torch. So it was really fun to just interact, watching, Luke with 2 summers of experience, share some wisdom and knowledge to Giovanni. So I go home and I call it an early night, as you guys remember. I said, I got to get some rest. Saturday we can have some fun. I want to get some rest, call Heidi, I check in, I do a normal routine, seeing how the day's going. Heidi's excited for the wedding. We're excited. And I ended with, do you know that exactly 1 week from today, we'll be wrapping up our wedding reception? It's like, oh, really cool moment. Okay, good night. Oh, it feels really good. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm going to close my eyes. Right? Then I hear, doop, 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 doop. So what the fart is that? Right? And I hear this leaking, and it sounds like a leaky faucet or the shower. And I go, I didn't even take a shower this evening. So it's either A, there's a leak, or B, there's a ghost. And I'm a little superstitious and into the supernatural. So I'm freaking out thinking my dad's saying hi or something. I'm like, I don't need that. I love you, Dad. I don't want to say hi right now this way. Not this way. Not this way. So I walk in. I hold my breath just in case my dad's there. Right? Turn the corner, and I look. The light fixture over the shower is leaking heavy, as if there's a tub upstairs that overflows. Like that. I'm like, great. And I can't sleep. So I call the front desk. No one's picking up. All right, Jeff, you just got to suck it up, Got to respond, not react. So I just shut the door, put the pillow, close my eyes. Okay, cool. So it's 1:30. I checked. 1:30. Attention. This is not a drill. There is an emergency. So long story short, the fire alarm goes off and there's a big announcement and you hear people screaming. Because I wasn't going to get out of my room until there was screaming. So I went out, didn't smell any burning. The emergency things went down so you couldn't use the elevator. Luckily, I'm on the 2nd floor, so it actually worked out pretty well. Went downstairs, everyone's outside. Apparently, the 5th floor had a major pipe burst and leak, and it went from the 5th, 4th, 3rd. So all floors below the 5th are just drenched. And so that was a good hour and a half. But I got a chance to meet some nice moms and nice older people hanging out at the hotel. So it was cool. So I lost sleep there. But it was all good. I got up early, did my morning routine, crushed it. I said, it can't get any more interesting. Oh, but wait, it does. So I get up and the elevator goes bing. There's an older gentleman business with his knapsack. Hello, sir. Oh, good morning, young man. Opens up. And this fool, right? The door opens. You can see in the corner an older mom, standing up against the wall, petrified. Another guy who clearly is inebriated. Okay. And then this guy, he opens up. He's got his cape. He goes, welcome. I went, this is what's going to happen right now. So I walked in and I go, let me guess, Leonidas 300. He goes, thank you. So, and in character with an accent says, thank you. Someone recognizes King Leonidas. And I said, well, King Leonidas isn't British. He goes, no. He goes, really? He's not? Okay. And he's clearly inebriated. So he goes on to tell the story. We get out of the elevator and I'm walking with him. He's tucking his friend. Man, that was crazy. And I said, hey, can I get a picture with you? He goes, really? You would do that? I said, yes, but only if you speak in the Leonidas voice. So he gets up and screams to all of Tallahassee how he's going to war with Sparta. He gets on one knee. He puts his hands up to me, gives me a blessing from King Leonidas. We take this picture. Then he starts to tell me his explicit story of last night. So I got to go. So I tell him I got to go. And that, my friends, is my Gainesville experience today. College.
It's only just the beginning.
College. So some of you are going, that's like all the time. Anyway, that's how I started my. That's how
getting woken up by an alarm.
That's right. That's how I started my morning. So anyway, I want to I want to dive through here. We have limited time. First and foremost, I want to do a quick retake. If you could open up, you can see it on the screen here, but if you open up the actual agenda I sent for next level, it's revamped. So there's some edits. And two things. Number one, on a positive note, I think they've been really productive. And if you don't feel they've been really productive, then I would say make it a note to do review of these. Bless you. Two, make sure you're really present for these calls. And three, I think for me, this is where the intent is to create a library of excellence so that all of you, should be all of you running an office from NLG and in a big leadership position, have the ability to go back to these very important sessions. Okay, they're all starred, they're all recorded, and they're all in the cloud. Okay, so if you take a look, this last call, thanks for being flexible. I canceled it. Post-hurricane, there's just too much of a mess, and we would have had maybe 6 people on the call, and I just decided to change it. So no call this coming Monday. Okay, or I'm sorry, we will have a call this Monday, which is the run that we just rescheduled. Okay, so we'll talk about setting up the alliance. No call on the 29th weekend. I'll be out of the country. November 5th, when I get back, we will have our AM Team Builder conference call. So there won't be the next level call, but at the same time slot, we'll be talking to the whole division about team building, three-way texting, and building the January program. Okay. No call after Olean. And if you look at the next one, we will have a call on the 19th to talk about steroids. That's right before Thanksgiving, and then the rest of the call schedule for winter break. So, any questions so far? And you have it in front of you too. It's not pulling up, Mila? Oh, okay. Cool. So I want to this is what I want to talk about for a quick second. Q4 planning. So here is something that for me the last 2 years, I'm pushing it with the district managers, but for me, a life strategy that's been really effective is taking Q4. And if you're familiar with the business term, we have some business majors here. What does Q4 mean? You know? Quarter 4. So the normal business world doesn't do campaigns like cutbacks. We do campaign 1, fall or spring, campaign 2, summer, campaign 3 is the fall. We do semesters. But in the normal business world, where 99% of businesses operate, it's quarters. So here's what I find is really important. End of quarter 3 is like next level, but for sure quarter 4, putting things together. So let me put this in a different way. Waiting till January to put your New Year's resolutions and goals is just too late, and December is also way too late. If you wait till December, it's almost the cramming for your exams. So what I want to do, just for next level, I want to take you through my specific Q4 planning. Since I've invested in coaching versus just mentoring, right? What I mean by that is, some of you know my mentor is John Oberg. He's Cutco alumni, vector trained, very successful businessman, and he's also a faith mentor, more than business. And when I started paying him to be my coach versus he would just mentor me for free, one of the biggest things we got to is just this Q4 planning. And so oldie but goodie, of course, is revamping circle of influence. So just for sake of this exercise, do me a favor, draw 3 red circles real quick. And as it pertains to right now, at this moment on the 20th, at approximately 9-something a.m. here on Saturday, and you know what the circles stand for, I don't need to repeat. So who would be the 3 that fit into the 3 different circles? And take note of which ones are difficult to write down, which ones are too easy to write down and you can't cut it down, and take note of which ones you write down and already have a feeling of that shouldn't be written down, so to speak. You know the exercise. I'll give you 30 seconds. The question, this is TV. You working? Oh, yeah. Nice. Stuff. Okay. me another 15 seconds or so. Okay. And I thought for all of you as you're doing this, I think what I think is really important is that this is something you're doing every single quarter. And I know you know the concept of the sheet. I know you know the concept. No, let me play here. I know you know the concept of circle of influence. But if all you know is what the red dots mean and that they're supposed to be important, I think then you're just baseline, right? This isn't next level. So next level means we're really constantly checking this out, constantly reevaluating. And I'll share an Instagram slide on general session, I think kind of makes the point here. So it might be worth noting right now, physically noting things that came up when you wrote down, okay, this one was too easy, but this one I haven't spoken to in a while. This circle, I don't have enough people. This circle, it's outdated. This circle, I keep saying it's these people, but for the last 2 times I've done this, it's not really these people. All right, so take 10 seconds to write down any notes that you can look back at. And what I encourage you to do, so maybe we'll do an order. Oh, beautiful. Reminds me of the firework. Right? We'll put down COI evaluation. So that's what I start with. Oh, and let me give you the background of this. So this is week of November. Can someone quote me the Monday before Thanksgiving? Is that 18th or 19th? Or not even 15th? 19th? November?
Monday, yeah, 19th.
Okay, so November 19th is a Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday. So let me give you, this is now involved because it's involving Heidi now. So Monday, I do my self Q4 planning. Tuesday, I do my calendar. And then Wednesday, I do Heidi plus Jeff. Because Heidi's going to also do one for herself for the first time, which is cool. And then she's going to do her own calendar. And then we'll combine. So we'll be able to compare. And then we'll create our own, Jeff and Heidi, like self-goal, like for our goals, and then our calendar. And this has been so helpful. Let me give you an example of why this was helpful last year. I didn't do the self last year, but she did the calendar. So because of that, when she got this job offer, where for the next 7 months, she's going to work 10 days a month for 7 months. She's going to fly to Wisconsin to go to this motility center. Long story short, she's going to get extra training that allows her to be super baller and the head of an entire division in Florida. B, she's going to get paid full time to fly out to only work 10 days a month. Okay. And they said, all right, well, we need a schedule. Because of this, I was able to give them the entire calendar and we customized their schedule. So we made it work exactly to the holidays we wanted. And the exact quote from the administrative assistant was, you're so ahead of your calendar. No one ever does this. You got everything that you wanted ahead of time. And so from that, I think that's an example of Heidi seeing the value of having your calendar set up. So there's no Heidi can't make it. Anything we wanted to work around, we worked around. So just food for thought, okay? For me personally, when I was single and I didn't have, a significant other to worry or care about, I did self, I did calendar, and then Wednesday, I usually just got a day to myself where I would kind of look at both. And usually it involved nature, not in a funny, weird way. I would either go to the lake and in Delaware, I would go just somewhere really serene and quiet so I could do a lot of thinking. And if I did this for a full day, a couple hours, this took me a whole day practically. That Wednesday was really good self-reflection. And I really encourage you to do that because you go into Thanksgiving and no pun intended, you really go thankful. You go thankful, you go excited, you go encouraged, okay? Next thing. I'm not going to distribute this necessarily. It's a little personal, but I'll share some of this with you. Let me give you we'll call this a scorecard. Okay. So I have this laminated. I also have it on my computer. I have it on multiple computers. So these are my 2018 goals. Okay. And so it started with a whole bunch of, an idea here, wait, for people move ahead. So it started with a whole bunch of brainstorming, okay? And here are the topics, okay? So for me, it was faith, fitness, friends and community, financial / work, and fun. The F's, if you will. And no pun intended, it's 5 F's as in like future and 5 F's for categories. And there are different ways to do this. If you read Matthew Kelly, he has the Dream Manager. He's got, I think, a list of almost 100 plus or 10 per category, and there are 15 categories. This is just a model. It's not perfect. It's not the only one, but it's one that's really worked for me. Okay. So what I did on Monday is I just brainstormed. I put down anywhere between 10 to 15 different things under each F that I really wanted to accomplish for 2018. Okay. And what I did is afterwards I got a call to share it, and for each one I narrowed it down, you guessed it, to the big 3. Surprise, surprise. And there's something to be said about the number 3, the amount of that you can retain, the amount that you can stay focused on, the amount that can stay and can sustain excitement for you. Because passion and excitement is fleeting, right? You're not gonna be passionate and excited. There's one of our first year TLA members said, I'm not passionate. I was like, of course you're not passionate. I mean, I'm not passionate every day, right? That's impossible. But I'm focused every day, or try to be, right? So for example, I'll just give you a family, ready? I highlighted green because when I went to John for my coaching call last year, I probably had 16 or 17 different things under family. And then we talked about it, and I got another call. And by the time, so the reason I did it here is because it took me until December 17th, and I have it dated. December 17th is when I had my big 3 for each one. It was narrowed down. So this starts the process, right? So start week of November 19th and end before Christmas. So the goal is to narrow it down to your big 3 for each category before Christmas. So for example, for me, my big 3 were to attend daily mass once or twice a week. For me in our faith, to go to church is usually Sunday, but to try and make it to mass during the week. Now, the second one was to read one Catholic or spiritual book per quarter, and then go to confession once a month. I can tell you I've gotten 2 of the 3 done, and I'm going to fall short on 1. Okay. Here's some interesting ones. Friends and community, like live call or FaceTime with a friend to catch up every single week. And for the most part of the 52 weeks of the year, I probably have done it 49, but only because of the scorecard. I put down 1 to 2 double dates per campaign. How do you want to? We wanted to commit to making sure that we got out there and met other couples that were of our age, and we've crushed that one, which is pretty cool. Some financial goals, which is really interesting. Circle of influence goal, friends and community. Fun, this is cool. A pre-Munich trip, and we did that. That was really cool and fun. Mini moon to the Caribbean, and we're going to the Caribbean, which is really funny. I put down here for fun BMW, a 4 Series Grand Coupe or a 5 Series. I got a 5 Series before I'd even hunted for a car. Bachelor party, foodie experience, Vegas or Miami, and we ended up going to Vegas. I mean, it's pretty scary, and I won't share all the financial details. It's a little personal, but I crushed it. I really crushed it to the point. And then from there, what's really cool is you can create, and you've seen this, many of you, you can create your version of a dream board. And so for me, these pictures represent the center, and to the left represent my values, which we're going to talk about in general session. Who's done the value exercise? Now you haven't, you have like no choice, right, for me. If you haven't already, I think it's important to narrow down your 5 or 6 values, and that's going to be part of the general session today, because a lot of you haven't done that. If you can define what your values are, for me, it's faith, it's love, it's respect, it's energy, it's legacy, it's loyalty. And those are the pictures that all represent that for me in the center and to the left. Okay. At the bottom left, This was last year before we had even decided where we wanted to do our wedding. That's the picture of St. Francis de Sales Church, and we're getting married at St. Francis de Sales Church. That vacation says St. Lucia, but ironically enough, and I looked this up, and you can't make this stuff up. It says St. Lucia, that was going to be a potential honeymoon. We're going to Turks and Caicos, which that picture is on the same page as the Turks and Caicos exact place we're going. It's really scary, okay? In the top right, I have mentors. And for me, a mentor is not in the same business. That's from my definition. Like Scott Dennis is a role model. Scott Dennis is actually in my wedding as a sponsor, like a godfather. Scott Dennis is someone I report to, but by my definition, he's not my mentor. So for me, in 2018 and 19, who can I fill to be my other two mentors, which I'm still working on? $8.5 million epic. That was kind of the goal for the division. We'll fall short of that, but not too short. Circles of influence. There's faith. Ironically enough, there's Vegas. We went to Vegas. You guys might not know the story of the BMW, but I just randomly said, of course I'm going to get my BMW. I just picked a random picture. That's the exact car I got. And I randomly picked it. That's like the 17 model of the exact, that's a 530 plus or 5 series tricked out. And 1 year later, I got that car. And this is the part that is the scariest, more than the BMW, more than St. Lucia. I just said, I really want to go to Paris. You can't make this up. And I took a picture. I said, let me put Paris. You know, that's romantic. And Heidi's been, I haven't. That would be really awesome. And I look at this thing probably once a week, definitely once every 2 weeks. I look at my scorecard, the one before that, every week for sure. And we got to announce the trip. It said Paris. And I said, no. And I cursed. I said, no way. And I text Heidi. And she's like, there's no way. I said, you can't make this up. It's a movie. But I can tell you, right, for whatever you believe in, like getting this planning done helps you operate. And I think my mentor, John, uses the term, he says, I'm just so dialed in. Okay. And if you can get yourself dialed into this point where pictures are coming true, numbers are coming to fruition, I think it really does go back to this, everyone. Right there. Okay. My relationships are stronger with my sister because she's one of those I'll talk to every single week and make sure I reach out to someone. I have friends that I lost connection with in 2015, 16, 17, and throughout 2018, our relationships has flourished. Financially, I've been able, just by paying attention, have saved way more money. It's really awesome to just see by being intentional. So I'll leave it up for, I'll leave some of the other things up there for a second, okay? So let me stop before we go to next page. Any, what comes up? Come up for air. Any takeaways? What stands out? What have you heard before? But yeah, I've heard it, but haven't done anything about it. What's exciting? What questions do you have? Okay, just for any group, this is a district level. For me, a district level must do. So of course, if you want to elevate, you act the level up. And for you guys, I think most 10% of you, as always, won't do this at all. But if you really get dialed into this. Every highly successful person I know is dialed into their following year, but before the year even starts. And it starts, yeah, for my system or the way I do it, we started before Thanksgiving. It really does take 4-5 weeks before you get it to that. So questions, comments? We'll go in virtual land. Comments, light bulbs.
Yeah, Jeff, I just want to say that that's really good to be doing your goals and whatnot that early on, back in November, because I usually do it sometime in December, and I feel like it just takes more time and then it produces clarity. So having that initial being done ahead of time.
Okay, good. Anyone else on virtual land? I'll take a picture of this. What goes that? Eddie, you raising your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, biggest takeaway, I agree across board because like vision boards, vision boards like they make life so much easier across the board. Like I know I've been doing them for like before high school, and it makes like life just clear. You just kind of have like a better idea. I talked like with Gabe Torres a lot about it, and I got him to like sit down and do it, and he feels like way better about everything now.
Okay, good. And I know, depending on how you're wired, sometimes the thought of a vision board seems kind of like fluffy and like sweet and out there. But if you want to think the business mind, it's just being dialed in and intentional and knowing very clear-cut vision for what you want. And just the fact that if I showed you the vision board I put together probably 2 years ago, which was just kind of put together, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I mean, it took me a month to put that vision board and that scorecard together, and it's dialed in. I mean, that scorecard, you could argue, if you look at it, you go, oh, you're just putting down what you got done in 2018. But it was done in December of 2017, and I didn't edit it. It's really scary, like the number, like the financial numbers, I mean, everything. It's almost to the T. So thanks, Eddie. Good point. How about here? Any light bulbs, questions? Takeaways? Light bulbs and takeaways would be good too.
I just liked how you did it. Like you did it a lot earlier. It was kind of like what Amanda said. Anytime that I was like sitting down and planning and like really trying to figure out, I would do it wait until like December. So like really sitting down and evaluating this earlier.
Yeah, and I also think in a respectful way, it doesn't sound respectful right now, but everyone's version usually under 19 of planning for the year sucks anyway. It's not really planning. Or you just say, oh, it'd be nice to, like the workouts and I don't work out, or the quit smoking, I'm not going to quit smoking, and you fill in the blank. All these New Year's resolutions versus, going in and there are no resolutions. It's just, this is what I'm going to get done. These are my my resolute decisions, if you will. You can look up that. Other questions?
When we started doing our goals in Olean, I remember that was like my version of this is in Olean, where I kind of reset goals for each year. It's nice to not get. I think New Year's resolutions are kind of dumb because if you actually wanted to make that change, you would have made it immediately and not waited until New Year's. So I think it's good to have a formatted document. I'm not much of a dream board guy. Maybe I should try it, but having like a formatted document that's a goal sheet that I can look over is definitely changed things.
Yeah, and I used to distribute like the blank template, and I can, if you ask me, I can give you a template. All it is, it's a Word document. There's a line down the middle. There's 2 columns. It says the 5 Fs, and it's got John Oberg at the top. So it's not really a template. You can make it on your own. In fact, you could argue make your own template so it's more exciting to look at. Okay, so here's what I'll put out to you as kind of my offer. If any of you take me up and decide to do the start of your 5 Fs, right? If you decide to do this format, which I think it's a format I understand, so I can support. That's really, it goes without saying anything that we put as a system. When you guys do all this, like for example, some offices, there's like one office that'll do this type of phone jam, but everyone else in the division does this. They might get good results doing their one phone jam, but when they need help, they're screwed because everyone else does this, and we know how to help this, not your phone jam. So take that for whatever program that you maybe I'm good at doing it this way. There's kind of my indirect case for being systemized and being on the same. Okay? But my offer is if you, during the winter break, November, because I'll be back from my honeymoon, I'll be back from all that, I'll be super recharged. If you want to reach out, I'm more than happy to get a quick laser call, see what you came up with your big lists for under these. And I'll ask the same questions that my mentor asked me to either eliminate. And more than half of the things that we put under each F, he just said, well, that's not really a goal. That's just a calendar thing. What do you mean? Just put it in the damn calendar. What do you mean? Just put mass in the calendar, like put it in. That's not a goal. Like you're not fighting. Just honor the calendar. Like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Stop there. Any questions? Okay. Third part. Okay. And I put it briefly up here is calendar. I guess you could put vision board. So 1, 2. I like the vision board a lot. Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
Oh, warm in here. Dolly, you gotta turn the air down. Or is it central?
No, it's like the entire.
That's great. That's great.
There's a fan.
It's okay.
So my branch was, and I was in a bank and we closed on Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Calendar. Ready? Calendar. Here's what I do know. Coming back from our national conference, SLC, coming back from meeting with Drew Frank, getting time with him, and Craig Ketchum, Evan Keller, some of the greats in our business, Dane Espegard. Big thing we talked about when we had one of our meals was, yeah, the guys and girls that crush it here the most in our business and in business in general have the calendar mastered. Okay? To the degree that you have planning figured out in the future, right? That's the power that you have. So the farther out you have in your calendar and that's the power. Like someone asked me, well, I would love to get a call with you when you get back, but that's the honeymoon. Like, how's November 19th? I just had a call with, you guys know Grant Cardone? You guys know Grant Cardone. I had a call with Grant Cardone's top coach. And I said, let's get a call. I said, how about this November 19th? He goes, calendar guy. I said, is there any other way? He goes, nope. And you can just tell, like when you have calendars laid out. I can tell you when summer kickoff's going to be. I can tell you where it is for the most part. I can tell you all the preps in the spring. I can tell you when our conference calls are. I can tell you when I'm going to be on the grid and not on the grid. I can tell you when you guys are going to go look for your offices. I can tell you when I can tell you the week you guys are going to start crying that it's really hard when you're a branch. I can tell. I mean, the calendar rules. Okay, so it's really important to start mastering. In fact, here's what I'll challenge you. You can also tell someone who's on their A player already has their 19 calendar. I've had my 19 calendars since end of September, and that might be late for me. Not too late. So I already have it. It's not. I left it at home, but I'm already filling in 2019 as of right now. Okay, and I'm still kind of old school. In fact, my mentor is kind of making fun of me because they're on calendars, and I'll send you the calendar invite, so I'll just pencil you in, and it's like a joke now. But other than not being digital, we've mastered the calendar. So, any questions on this?
Can we get a picture first?
Yeah.
Also, apparently Eddie is like presenter view or something, like speaker view, and they can only see him.
Oh, really? Okay. What do I do?
Go, chug, chug, chug. Woo!
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Do me a favor, and we'll go to break. So I want to honor time today, big time. Take 30 seconds. We're going to transition into calendar. We're going to transition to book review in just a second. We're going to go to break now. Take 30 seconds, and I want you to think about 3 people in TLA. If I were to say, I need you to pick 3 people that are not next level group. Okay. They can be in your office. Preferred not, right? So preferred not, but they can be in your office. Try to have at least one that's not. Who are 3 people that you feel like you either have or are developing a good connection with that if you had to quote unquote mentor, you'd feel pretty good about mentoring from now through the rest of Q4. Right? Take 30 seconds. And that might be hard to fill 3, right? That probably says something. Who are 3 people, ideally not in your office, but if you have to, try to get at least one person not in your immediate district that you connect with in TLA first year. Or if you are a multiple time next level member like a Luke, like a Kirsten, Grant, Eddie, then someone else in next level. So if this is your second, so I would say a Grant, Kirsten, Eddie, and up. You can first years, next levels, or technically like a first year next level. You know what that means. Like a Rob Rodriguez would be a first year next level. Skylar would be a first year next level. And do me a favor, everyone text me individually, one-on-one, your 3. So I'll expect to get like 19 text messages here for the break. Cool? All right, I have 9:42. Let's take an ample break, restroom. If you guys want to go fix the air conditioning, that'd be cool. We'll do a hard start at 10 a.m., okay? So we're on break, we're good. Text that to me. All right. Once you text, you're good. Thanks, guys. Mute this out.
I don't really know what. Yeah, I don't know.
I see like full screen.
All right, we good to go? Let's do a little roll call. We good with Tally? See Eddie, we're good? David Delgado, we're good. Amanda Swanson, we're good. San Juan, we're good. Bloomington, do we have Bloomington? Here we do. There it is. Okay. Thanks, Mila, for taking that picture. Oh,
Oh gosh.
hold on. It's okay. I'm going to put this over here. Okay. So Mila, if you could take a good side horizontal picture. But that looks pretty clear. I'm going to have Mila send a picture of the board. This is just a review from 2 preps ago. Okay. And I'm going to switch the agenda up. I want to go right into the calendar so we don't miss this. So if you could take for your notes, just a reminder. So 2 preps ago, we just did the basic skeleton of a calendar. Does anyone remember? Here it says PPR at the bottom of each day. Does anyone remember what we did at the second prep? It wasn't PPR. Recruiting. It was how many PRs should we be setting? So if you look, actually, if you could open up the picture for me. That's in this sessions folder. Okay, it's actually handout number 3. Okay. And look at the bottom. I can share this on the screen too. So if you look, you can look on the television here. Okay. At the very bottom, we did one of several things. First of all, take a look. It's the fire number. How many PRs should you as a branch or a solo district manager set yourself? Okay. That's just from the picture. We summarized, and just to recap, by the time we get to end of Sunday, we should already have double digits, 10, but I would argue closer to 15. In fact, Giovanni and Luke and I were talking about how in the pilot, our goal is to make sure that every single manager has their 15 plus set, bless you, and utilizing Saturday is a big key. I know there are offices, ready? There are offices that didn't call anyone on Sunday like the pilot, but we were number 2 in the whole region with PR set, including fire number. And it helped save our summer. Otherwise, I think we would have been like 300 or 400 in new. We ended up at closer to 600 in new. Then there are offices that didn't call Saturday and didn't set PR. That's like Tampa. You guys didn't work Saturday and you didn't get them set Sunday. So it's like, you know what that means?
Yep.
Yep, you shoot yourself in the foot. Okay. Sure. Then there are offices that didn't get it going early in the summer. And then like I'll use Kirsten Boca. Kirsten wasn't doing it, and then there was week 3 or week 4. I think it was maybe mid-June where she got in there, and she personally said I think it was close to 15 or 20 just on Saturday, and that helped fuel future recruits. And then I could give you examples all across the board, right? And so making sure by Sunday's double digits, by Monday it's 20. And if the goal here is to get 20 to 40 per week, right? I like insurance. I like taking the safe bet to insure. Your cycle ends Wednesday because training's here. So just food for thought to make sure I do it. Your cycle ends Wednesday. If you want to be between 20 and 40, I think you want to have more than half already set before the end of Monday. I'll say it again. You want to have probably 2/3 of that. So if your goal is 20, you should be at 15 by Monday night. If your goal is 40, you should be at, what, 25. Because the bulk of your PRs are going to come from what you get done Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. This right here should be like ingrained and burnt into the Cutco portion of your brain, which I think is the right side. I believe it's the right side. Okay. There's the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, and then the woodblock hemisphere. Yeah. And then the big four we talked about, lessons from the summer of 18, is that the offices that prioritize the fire number got it at a high level. Situation is the boss, meaning I know some calendars said Saturday we wouldn't do anything after 12 necessarily recruiting-wise, but even in the pilot, we weren't supposed to do anything Saturday. Our PR shows were terrible, so we called an emergency meeting. We called PRs on Saturday. And then we started, Mila remembers this, we started having AMs call on Saturday to make up. And it wasn't what we set out to do. But for us, back to prep number one, pleasing methods or pleasing results. I like pleasing results. And the pleasing methods kind of went out the door for a little bit. The number of PR said, and you know, it's funny, I'm going to talk about branch pay today. A big part of branch pay, number one, is what does the manager get done with this? And what's the second element that determines that's in the control of the manager that determines the profit?
PPR.
Yeah, well, PPR, but personal sales.
Oh.
Personal sales. We have a branch manager in United that reached out to Scott and said, I don't know why I didn't profit as much. And Scott goes, I do. How much did you sell personally? Yeah, but he was like, yeah, but ... And I said, Jeff, and copy, Jeff, could you please send so-and-so's cap when you covered his finances? And I said it word for word. In fact, I forwarded the email from April that had, when you sell this for your office, here's your profit range. And what you sell for your personal sales, you got to sell at least this much. And the part that he or she was complaining about was the amount that they didn't sell. Right? So two things. You got to personally sell. You got to get fire number. Those are two things in your control. And then lastly, this is really a nuance from the pilot and from Luke. There's a proper balance, which we'll teach you of if I collect, let's say you're my training class here. If I collect 200 names from each of you, but that would be 1,800 names. If I have almost 2,000 names, what percentage do I send to conveyor and they get texted? And what percent do I keep for myself? Like understanding that is a big part of summer success for a team. I'll come up for air. Any questions? Okay. Let me fill in the blanks here for PRs. Just I'll do it in red so we remember here. Right? So I'll start with Sunday. Talked about getting 5 set before your phone jams and your PSP starts. We talked about getting another 2 to 5 set during phone jam PSPs. Okay. We talked about getting 5 to 7 set during rep-driven advanced training. And then getting another 5 to 7 set from triple threat that night. So if you just take these numbers on the low end, 7, 13, 5, it's 18, right? It's probably closer to. Should already be closer to that 15 to 25 number. You should crush it Sunday, Monday. And here's set PRs. Another 5. In the evening, another 5 to 7. Now what that means for me is that Wednesday should be what? All things considered, based on just the red we have here, just from Sunday through Tuesday, what PRs, or what should you consider the PRs on Wednesday to be? Scuba up, extra, throughput, ready? Gravy, extra. Okay. And then here, depending on the time of the year, whether it's early summer or late, I think once you have a team built, you're only getting 5 set on Saturday. But when you're brand new and you have no reps, or you're only launching 2 a week to start, you should be getting 10 plus. And it doesn't mean by noon, it means throughout the day. You know, if you really take best practices from last summer, is you're setting 5 to 10 here, you're sending conveyor at noon, and you do what Grant Strayer did, and you head around your territory and travel to places where you can have conversations and hand out business cards and clipboard and talk to people, and you fight for recruits. Okay, any questions there? All right, so before we dive into PPR, which is, if you look at the picture here, at the bottom of each day last prep, we talked about how many PRs you should set and how many people you should probably sign on the interview in general. I want to take it more towards what should you be doing to drive sales, first 10-day management. But first, since we're talking about morning routine, last prep, some markers on my. All right. AM routine, not to be confused with routine. And then poutine, anyone? Poutine?
So good.
French fries, gravy, cheese curds? Yeah, okay. From Canada, not France. Canadian. Yes, routine. So here's what I have for AM routine. Got a tough crowd. Hello, is this thing on? No? Hello, is this thing on? And I also want to do planning. I know everyone knows what power hour means, but I still think even next level people don't even know what to do during power hour or to plan. And I can see that because some people are getting overwhelmed. AM routine. So first of all, based on the schedule, let's see if that video is recording this properly. Based on this schedule, when does activity start in an office? So not anyone that's run an office. If you've known Daniel, Skylar, Rob, Nefty, Mila, when does activity start? Based on, like, when do you start doing things in your office? What time?
Like what day?
Almost every day.
Day of the week or time of the day?
What time of the day are you in? Are things starting in your office? That's a better question.
8?
8 a.m. Okay.
That was hard.
So we're just going to go backwards. This is pretty simple. So 8 a.m. Right?
Like summer kickoff?
So that means go backwards. What time do you need to be at your office if you're really going to start doing things at 8, not show up like a hot mess and then get a
7.
Right? So there's a difference. You get to your office at 8, you're not really doing things at 8. Yeah? So I would say 7:45.
Meals are really 7.
6:30, right? So 7:45. So usually, how far should you be from your office? Well, if you're over 45 minutes from your office, you did it wrong. I think you're just, by situation, you've already hurt your energy. And some of you will have an office where, we've had it, where you live in the building above your office. We've had that situation before.
That's
very fresh. Or you just don't want to live in your office. And we've had that. Yeah. So you go backwards. In general, 45, I would say, is too far to live from your office. You might not even notice it, mental or down. Okay. And you could be as close as upstairs. So in general, about 30 minutes. That's an average commute. It could be a little less, a little more. So if that's the case, if you have to be there by 7:45, what time do you have to leave your house? 7:15. We're just going backwards here. It's easy math. Right? 30 minutes before 7:45 is 7:15. Yes. 7:15. Then from there, depending on who you are, how fancy you are, how handsome or pretty you are, or care to be, but you have to be at least principal. And that actually Andrew's the example from last year, right? We call it primping. Right? You have to primp. You have to get ready. So if your get ready time is from the time you wake up to out the door, we put down conservatively about 30 minutes. From the time you're out of like actually getting into the shower and getting ready. But then what happens if you're really next level and following best practice? What happens before you even do that? One of two things. One for sure, one maybe. So morning routine. Before that, maybe if you're up early.
The gym.
Gym. I would say that depends if you're an evening or a morning person. I actually don't think it matters as long as you do it. So that means watch. I'm just gonna do 6:45 because you start the print. Okay, 30 minutes.
What?
7:15. You're out the door. Out the dough. Okay. 7:45.
In the door.
Arrive. In the dough. In dough. Literally, you're in doughs. Right? In dough. All right. 8 o'clock. Champions Club. PDI. 100% engaged. So here's what's really interesting. That just means if you're thinking about planning for the day, well, how much time do you need daily? If you're not doing power hour, how long is a morning routine, more or less?
15 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes. Some 30. I think 30 is it's more evolved, but I would say 15 minutes, right? 5 minutes to do whatever you can do to wake up, whether it's faith or breathing. Another 5 minutes to kind of get yourself right with journaling, and another 5 minutes kind of miscellaneous.
Push-ups.
Push-ups. Push-ups. So 6:15 to 6:30. AM routine with journaling. That means if you're going to do a morning gym session, you're probably at 5:30 a.m. Or if you're getting quicker workouts, you're at 5:45 or even at 6 a.m. Workout. Get in, hit the routine, and go. Questions there? It's funny. So let me give you a kind of a quick, easy benchmark for your planning. 15 minutes a day, the daily. That's going to go somewhere in the morning routine where you look at your planner for the day. 1 to 2 hours per week. At least a 2 to 3 hour session per month. Do a half a day. Plan the whole campaign or semester. Take a full day to plan the year. And then 1 to 2 days for the next 3 to 5 years. So everything's kind of a system that feeds into another system that feeds into another system. But one other thing you put in is your workout routine. How do you get it to? How do you scale it to a 30-minute workout? Like, wow, but I need 45 to an hour. Not necessarily. So workout leads into this 15-minute of planning, which is part of this, which leads into your routine, which means you're there. Yet, if I were to poll every branch manager and ask them what time are they at their office, like I would say, how many of you all the time, Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturday, you were at your office by 7:45? The majority of branches wouldn't raise their hand, but Andrew Evans would raise his hand. Luke would raise his hand. I can count maybe on one hand how many times Luke was. One time when he was really late, but then we thought he died, but I was just happy to see him. And your mom was calling, I was calling. I called your mom, it was fine. That was fine. Like in 2 years. And then another 3 or 4 times over 2 summers where he called and said, hey, I'm just running a bit behind. But other than that, I mean, we right, I'm not looking for perfection here, but I'm looking for routine and consistency. You got to show up, Luke.
One part of that is getting on point before you get grinding at 8 a.m. But another is you never want, like, you always have to be the first one at your office. If your reps are coming before you, it's the easiest way to kill culture very quickly.
Yeah, it's lazy.
Like, as soon as a rep arrives before you for Champions Club, they're never going to be on time to Champions Club again. And when you get shown up at 8:30 for Champions Club, it's almost
yeah. 8:30 Champions Club really is just.
So when a kid walks in at 9 a.m., like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's just a phone jam. Oh, it is. There's no championship about. There's nothing champion about it. Okay, Miss Mila, do me a favor for now. You have the full picture of this, please, and then just this. Any other feedback? How about from Virtual Land? Any other? Hey, I want to share some thoughts based on having branch last year, all the way to light bulbs, all the way to questions. So whether it's Tallahassee, Fort Lauderdale, San Juan, or any of our 2 hubs elsewhere, Amanda and Grant. I'd love to hear from people who ran an office. That'd be good. What I did right, what I did wrong.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get in as early as I would have liked to on Saturdays. Sundays was like my day to more or less go in earlier at PRs. So you definitely want to capitalize on Saturdays because that's where you're going to start off your whole week. So, and that's what's really going to drive. So you definitely want to get in your office.
Someone made the comment this year, well, I'll just do it all on Sunday. But if you have a team, you're not getting anything done on Sunday. Like you're to the minute if you have a team. So you're not giving yourself a lot of flexibility. So if you don't hit it on Sunday, right, there's no insurance policy. Anyone else from Virtual Land? Ran an office? Is that Eric, are you raising your hand?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me try and link you up to the speaker. 1 second. Say a prayer.
Am I good to go?
Hold on. Okay, try it.
Yeah. I think it's really weird for me. Like you said, very physically taxing for me. It was about an hour drive every morning and every single night. You have to wake up an extra hour early and you leave the office and you're getting there an hour late. It was really, really, really physically taxing, and it took away what I feel like I could have done in my office a little bit more. I wish I just kind of just popped up a little bit extra money and just lived in Aventura.
Yeah, and so it's a little faded on the voice, but Eric, I think what you're saying is you just felt like you lived too far from your office.
Correct.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. For 85% of you, just eliminate the thought that you're going to live at home because you won't live near your home. And very rarely do people live at home for the rent. Some people do, and some people it makes sense. But, you know, well, I could live at home for free and be an hour away, or I have to pay rent. Don't be cheap. For some reason, you don't stay at the rundown Gainesville Inn. I'd rather stay at the AC Marriott that floods and has drunk people. But I mean, that's another story. I'm just saying, like, that's part of the investment. Oh, and by the way, that's part of, oh, you guessed it, startup. Putting yourself in the best possible situation to be comfortable and be ready to rejuvenate each night and to have a place to work from home and have a place that's safe, to have a place that's in good distance. That's really important. So I know we're kind of going a little bit off of PPR for a second, but any other thoughts? Either
I have another one.
Kier, speak up, Kier, because let me try the speaker one more time. Hold on. Yeah, I know.
Did not.
Try it now.
Hello?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Another thing that I wasn't expecting that actually like came out positive is my interviews on Sundays. I always had like I randomly just put in like a 3:15. I didn't have it all stuff, but it ended up being like my favorite interview of the whole week because